Boy, ladies and gentlemen, we are certainly in prime time on the brightest lights here on the biggest stage on Sportswire Radio. And our guest is most certainly going to give us, well, his own bright side of some of the things that he wants to get off his chest. And especially later on with some guy who's supposed to be a real deal, who's supposed to be the most controversial figure in backyard and underground wrestling history. Oh, we'll get to him. We'll also get to, well, how about something coming up here where he's on a crash collision course in an RCW, PWF, All Wrestling Matters situation with a guy he's already seen in a ring for a briefcase on a ladder match? We'll most certainly get into what's going to happen at Winter Clash here, just 2.5 weeks away from now, where our guest could be holding, well, let's just say some Midwest gold that could certainly maybe propel him to the top of not one but two polls he's in over in Wisconsin. Boy, there is a lot to get into here with our guest, and I'm going to really give him his real deal. And there's no joke about what he's going to say tonight. And let's just say he is going to reignite everything that's going to happen here in the Midwest.
Oh, give it to me, Tom.
Certainly vote for him. Because if you don't, well, he'll just show you what he's been showing to everybody else here. Up and down the backyard, the underground, the independent, and the All Wrestling Matters movement. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been waiting for it.
Oh,
He's been waiting for it. I've been waiting for it. And it's time to now give him that introduction on a platform he most certainly helped build here.
Give me your all, Tom.
Fire Radio, the number one global radio station. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime. So, we're done. Without further ado, here on the Sportzwire. Number one. Sports show. A man that is simply put, reviewing the All Wrestling Matters movement. Maybe the most unpredictable man right now in all of wrestling today. His name is simply put, Mr. My friend, how are we doing?
Oh, Mr. Tom Brace, that was probably the best intro I've gotten so far. I'm surprised you don't pass out by the end of that, though.
Well, actually, if you don't mind for a second to respectfully break the fourth wall for a minute, I tell this story all the time. I actually was doing a show. This was at the beginning of the year with somebody overseas in the UK, and I was doing the intro. And I clutched my chest, and I was like, oops, this is going to be the moment where I'm going to croak on the air. And actually, I went like this and went back up, and he looked at me, my guest at the time, Taylor Truce, the general manager of Coming Out Championship Wrestling. He's like, you okay? I went like this, and I said, yeah, I think I'm all right now. And since then, I always go back to that moment. But, yes, forget about all of that, though, Mr. Brightside. I'm alive. You are most certainly alive here in prime time. And there is a lot to talk about. But I'm going to save that, let's just say, controversial figure for later on in the show. But I want to talk about here some news that just broke a little while ago, and I want to get to it here For those that are listening and watching here, prime time, the brightest lights, you are, after all, Brightside. And on the biggest stage here and the platform that you most certainly helped build here, Sportswire Radio, the most unpredictable man in all of wrestling. Mr. Brightside, you've got a match coming up now in Reignited Championship Wrestling where you're going to be facing a man that you've actually had some history with in the IMF. And tell us what your thoughts are on that.
You must be talking about El Drago.
Yep.
Wild
the briefcase
Samoan.
winner. Yep, the Shot of Glory briefcase winner there last month. Yep.
Yeah. I heard about that. Thought it'd be a good idea to try to spread the word of Mr. Brightside. And I have nothing against El Drago. I actually have a lot of respect for El Drago because he is the one to walk away with the briefcase, and I was the one trying to claim it. But unfortunately for El Drago, when this happens, he's not going to be IMF's tribal chief. He's not going to be that wild Samoan. He's just going to be another guy laying on his back, staring up at Mr. Brightside, the chaos that I bring. And I don't think him or anybody else is ready for it.
Interesting that you said that because we got a little bit of a taste of you two in the same ring over last month at Highway to Hell. And now we get you here one-on-one and Reignited Championship Wrestling, and I got to think that you got some memories of the last time the two of you were in a ring, and you're going to certainly use that to reignite maybe what you'd like to do throughout the IMF, and there's no better way to do that here, coming up with a man that in many ways you might be pretty similar to, because in the ring and outside the ring, he, like you, he's very unpredictable. He might more come at it in a, let's just say, calmer tone. He comes at it, as you said, more in a tribal chief, like he's the Samoan dragon and he's well-dressed, whereas you come at it, again, pretty much is, well, kind of how you are right now, but I think in many ways you guys have a lot more similarities than differences.
Yeah, I guess we do, now that you mention it. He likes chaos, like me.
He does.
I was born into it, and he is much calmer than I am. But just because I have a bit of a freak out every once in a while doesn't mean I can't be calm. Doesn't mean I can't be calculated too. As far as me and him being similar, yeah, but I think we're different in more ways.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, that you've got some opportunities here to win some gold. I'm going to get to that next opportunity, plus a couple of polls here in a few minutes. But the winner of this match also has an opportunity to get a shot at the PWF World Heavyweight Championship. Certainly at Winter Clash, we're going to see what happens between the current champion, Justin Parsley, and Soldier GP. We also know that there's no foundation, no sinners at ringside. We also know that if Justin Parsley loses coming up at Winter Clash, that Justin Parsley will no longer be in the IMF. But does that motivate you here also against Il Drago coming up here? Because you've been a world champion multiple times. You've been a world champion multiple times this year. So for you to go back up on top to get through Il Drago, that's got to be pretty motivating, because you could very well, whoever wins that match, and we don't even know what's going to be left between Soldier GP and Justin Parsley. That has probably been, the biggest feud in all of wrestling, I think, this year. And that feud started here on this platform. But I got to think for a victory for you, you got to feel really good to be back on top and win another world title here next month if you beat Il Drago.
So first off, I have to get through El Drago. Then I get the winner, as you stated, Soldier GP or Justin Parsley. Yep. What do I see? The championship is such a odd topic. It's such an odd anomaly.
Some people think it's a facade. Other people buy into the whole thing of being a champion. But you've been a champion, and you had your own struggles being the champion. But this time, you're in a different state of mind. You're in a totally different element. And
Yeah.
right now, especially kicking off a new program like Reignited Championship Wrestling RCW, and to beat Il Drago, a man you've got a little bit of experience with. I mean, that's got to give you a clear-cut advantage, because we know that Parsley and Soldier are going to kill each other coming up here at Winter Clash, and that'll just allow you to pick up the pieces and in prime time and on the brightest lights and the biggest stage, win another world championship.
See, in the beginning, I guess the championship had an allure, especially holding the all-out championship and standing above everybody else. And I think what I liked about it was the attention. See, I love the theatrics of this whole thing you like to call wrestling. And I like the show. I like to be in the spotlight. I like to hold, or I did like to hold the championship. But see, now it's a bit different. I want to be a champion in my own right, but I don't think that title is going to make me a champion. I think once I get done with Drago and he's laying me on his back, and I'm done with the winner between Soldier and Justin Parsley, and I'm holding that title above my head, that's holding it and having everybody else surround me, wanting it, chasing it. And it's just more fun for me then. But as far as being a champion, I don't need a title to prove that.
Well, I'll tell you what, I am very excited to see here what happens. And you can certainly see that on the RCW YouTube channel. You can also see that here on the brand new All Wrestling Matters YouTube channel. So I'm going to have a whole bunch of plugs here in a second. And we see here what some of you guys are doing. And you and Mr. Drago were here in the ladder match. And you're
almost had it.
You almost had it, but something tells me here you're in a different frame of mind, in a different state, and you've got certainly plenty of opportunities coming up here for gold, and we'll come back to this for sure. And I have no doubt that you and Il Drago will be a huge topic, most certainly coming up in 2 weeks from now, because in 2 weeks from now, on December 19th, same time, same bat channel, all of you IMF superstars are going to be here for Winter Clash, the 1-year anniversary of the IMF going into live indoor venue. So we'll take this off the screen for now, because there's something else I got to get to. There's actually a couple of things I got to get to before I think the topic that you're really wanting to talk about, sir. But
we'll get there.
Oh, we're going to get there. You better believe that. We're going to definitely, I have no doubt about that, get into that. But we'll certainly do that for sure. But, you know, Mr. Brightside, you have another opportunity coming up here for some gold, and that's actually at Winter Clash. So you could have an opportunity if the way things break out here in a month from now. You could be a Midwestern champion, a PWF champion, and you may say you don't care too much about gold. You could just be the man that's having all the gold right now. And I'm going to pull up that poster here for the audience very shortly and talk about your thoughts, because that's kind of how I introduced you coming back onto Sportswire Radio with, I guess you could say, Soldier GP here. And obviously, Mr. GP had a lot to say about what took place. And I'm going to put this link up here for the audience right now. So I want to get your reactions on this match. So for those that are listening and watching now here in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, how fitting that Mr. Brightside is here. We're going to have coming up here now, a fatal four-way
Iron Survivor match.
Iron Man match coming up in Winter Clash. Yep.
Wow. 20 minutes.
Iron Survivor match. You have been in a lot of matches, sir. I've watched you over in Wisconsin quite a bit. But, I mean, what's your opinions on what we're going to see here coming up? What is your opinions? I mean, because you've got some interesting men. I mean, Prince Achia, a man who's been constantly knocking on the door for gold. Isaiah Rage, who certainly had his own struggles with the Sinners. And, you know, some old fossil, Remington Stryker. I mean, so, I mean, ultimately, 3 guys with 3 different perspectives. And what can we expect from you coming up here at Winter Clash?
The thing that I like to announce all the time, you can expect chaos. You can expect chaos, but fairness. A certain balance I bring to things. See,
Mm-hmm.
it's about a title. We touched up on championships, but me,
We did.
it's not about the validation, winning the title. It's about the opportunity to create a greater anarchy, if that makes sense. It's to cause a stir. As far as the three other men in this match, you have Prince Chia, who's been chasing gold, and I ran into him back at Highway to Hell.
Yep.
The 6-man ladder match. He's
Mm-hmm.
he's quite an intimidating individual. Same with Isaiah Rage. He's like me, hides behind a mask. Like and Remington Striker. Oh my lord. I can't believe he's still kicking.
Well, I think once the Kansas City Chiefs finally not go to the Super Bowl, he won't be kicking around much longer. He's on borrowed time. Let's just put it that way. Regardless, he's on borrowed time.
Let's not forget the most interesting idea about this match. You have 4 men who are fighting each other 20 minutes to get as many either pinfalls or submissions, any sort of win you can get. The winner walks out at the end of the 20 minutes. That is what makes this very interesting, because even though I know I could beat all 4 of them one time, how do I know they won't beat me by 2 times? It adds a certain layer to the idea of this wrestling thing, and at the end of the day, I still have to do what I have to do. Fair?
Oh, I think you will. And I said it. I kind of have my money on you, not just because you are here, and I don't want to, certainly, be in the certain situation as a man we'll get to in a little while. But I think you are the most unpredictable man right now, and I think that there's no question that the other opponents that you have in this match, whether it's the old fossil, whether it's Prince Achia and Isaiah Rage, with all due respect to Isaiah and Prince Achia, they're outstanding competitors.
Yeah,
I think what you bring to the table in a match like this, because you've been in kind of these types of matches before, that I think gives you the upper hand right now. And I think you may talk about the fact that gold might not mean that much to you. But like I said, if the way things fall into your favor, you could have not 1, but 2 significant championships in a few weeks from now. What a way to close and start a year.
Isn't it weird, how I did my thing in this small pond called WCE, right?
We're gonna get to them in a few
minutes. Everybody gets talked down there, and everybody else gets talked down. WCE, they got a small pond, and all of a sudden I joined this big pond, and after one show, I have a chance at the PWF. Well, I will have a chance at the PWF title. And then all of a sudden I get thrown into this fatal 4-way for another title. What does that say?
It says to me that you're the most unpredictable man in wrestling right now. And I think that right now I would certainly not want to bet against you, because I think what you bring to the table in the ring, and I think that it's certainly something that almost very few people can prepare for. And I think that with your style and what you do out there, and I've known you from that little small pond that you spoke about. I've known you for more than almost 3 years. I've known you now. Well, I know what you can bring to the table. So right now, that's why I kind of think the way things. I love Il Drago. I think it's going to be you and Il Drago is going to be one of the better matches of this year. But I think the way that things are right now at this moment, there's no question that you very well could be a man that could be walking around with not 1 but 2 belts. We could be calling you Mr. 2 Belts, Mr. Bright 2 Belts,
Mr. Bright 2 Belts. I'll live with that.
We could very well be doing that. And before I get to my next order, I want to give a plug, because I see somebody in here that is a very good friend of ours in the IMF, and she's trying to get to 500 subscribers. I promised I'd give her a plug. Her name is Dakota Riley. She's at 450 subs.
Dakota
Riley's at 450 subs. She's 50 away from 500. I see a bunch of people here in the chat. I promised her I plug the YouTube channel. I'm going to plug All Wrestling Matters YouTube channel. I'm going to plug yours in a minute, because I want to get you to 100 subscribers. But right now, if you're here do me a favor. Go subscribe to her. She's working hard. She's doing some training. She's doing interview skills. She's filming some of these matches. She does some stuff with the ring crew. She wants to be involved. I see her on TikTok so much. I see her more than James Taylor on TikTok, who's here in the chat. But go give her a sub. She's at Dakota Riley underscore. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Really quick about Dakota Riley.
Yeah, go for it.
See, I see something in her that I don't think anybody else in IMF has, or anybody else in this world has. So I'm not too sure yet, but I am gonna find out. That's for sure. If it was up to me,
yeah,
I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna take her under my wing, and I'm gonna show her exactly what she has inside.
You know what? Well, I'll tell you what. You might be the most unpredictable man right now, and she could very well be the most unpredictable woman in wrestling if the way you have you get into your favors. But before I do anything else, I'm going to get to a poll, which I want to ask you next. This is Mr. Brightside's YouTube channel. Now, we started the show tonight. He was at 90 subscribers. He is at 94 right now. We'll get to that video in a little while. But I need you to go out there and hit a sub for me. He's only 6 away from 100. I got at least 9 or 10 people on YouTube. I got a bunch of people on my other platforms. So do me a favor, hit the sub for him. It's Mr. Brightside, Mr. and then dot Brightside, all caps locks, and then haha. He's made it very simple. Hee ha. Definitely go out there, hit a sub for him. Also, I gotta go out and give a plug to All Wrestling Matters. If you want to sub to All Wrestling Matters, Sean Jovi has got a new YouTube channel. So do me a favor, go subscribe to it. You got some of the PWF. By the way, that PWF championship, which was won, that All Wrestling Matters championship, which was won here back at Summer Bash, all that is right here on the All Wrestling Matters YouTube channel. So do me a favor, All Wrestling Matters, very simple. All you have to do is put in youtube.com / All Wrestling Matters. All you have to do, just very simple. So we'll get to all that here.
Tom, really quick. For those who are subscribed or planning to subscribe to my channel,
I'm going to put it up one more time.
Pull it up. I just want to let you know the next week there's a lot of new content that's going to be coming out. Some might have to do with the origin of Mr. Brightside. Where did I come from? Why am I here? Or maybe I'm going to call somebody else out from IMF, or maybe I'm going to stick to the person that I have my eyes on. But you won't know unless you subscribe.
Well, for whatever reason, when I think of you now, I am thinking about the song that Ozzy famously sang called Mr. Crowley. For whatever reason, now, I'm not saying you should come out to Mr. Crowley, but I am definitely thinking about that. But while I do want to certainly talk about what we'll talk about very soon, I have to come to something else that's just been a topic lately here over the past 24 hours. And you are in a poll here coming up. And it's over at our friends here in WCE. Obviously, they're on the road to 1,000 subs. They're 160 away. Now, we're on we're on the PWF YouTube page. And you're actually what I have heard from a birdie, you are actually in the lead in the first poll here right now, which is,
really?
Yep, I've heard from Best on the Mic. And then I've even heard from a birdie here coming up in Feud of the Year. You are just one vote behind. So if you're here right now in the chat, I need you to go to WCE's YouTube page at WCE Heat. I need you to go to community, and I need you to go vote. I need you to vote on these two polls. And if you want to vote for Mr. Brightside, now you have the chance. If you want to vote for Sean Jovi or anybody else, but really, because Mr. Brightside is here, he's got the floor.
Make the right choice.
He's going to tell us why he wants your vote. And why, when we think about WC, especially ask Sean Jovi, because famously here on Sportswire, you senselessly attacked him. You beat him, certainly, at Fight or Fight Night 1. And on top of that, I mean, what you did to James Marshall, what you did to some other guy that, let's just say, has got a few sins out there and named Sinister. And, I mean, you have certainly been running amok over there, as you stated in your own words, in that small pond. But tell us why everybody should go out there and vote for you in these not one but two polls.
Because there may be three choices, but deep down in your heart, You all know there's only one, especially for the best on the mic. And the reason why I'm the best on the mic is because I don't need to flaunt what I have. I don't need to join those pissing contests that everybody has.
Yeah.
See, I speak the truth. I am the truth. I speak what's real. I speak chaos.
You're a man that obviously doesn't need to be here. And I guess maybe in the words of Justin Parsley, you don't need to wait backstage and talk about yourself or hear yourself to be talked about. That's Justin Parsley's words, and that's going to be about an individual that I'm going to get to here in a little while. But that's basically what you're telling us is that, yeah, you want people to vote for you, but you're not going to, use it for your ego. You're not going to scream on rooftops and go to other people's streams and shows.
Nope.
You're
I'm
just
going to use it. I'm going to use it for what it really is. Me being the very best. And they know it.
Well, we're going to find out. But, lately I've been calling you the most unpredictable man right now.
Very true.
Are you the most unpredictable man? Or really, Oswald Brightside, do we know who you are, but yet we're just all too stupid to see what's in front of us? Or do you really think you are the most unpredictable man in our sport?
Definitely.
Yeah.
See, if you pay attention, it's not necessarily that I'm the most unpredictable. It's see everybody thinks I'm unpredictable, but to me it's all calculated. It's all fair. It's all the balance, I feel that people consider me unpredictable because my motivations they don't follow a typical logic or morality.
Sean Jovi found that out firsthand, by the way, in Appleton.
See, I thrive on what? Chaos.
Chaos.
You're gonna remember that by the.
I'm gonna definitely remember. But that's to me what being chaos is all about: unpredictability, volatility, uncertainty.
Yes.
And that's what you thrive on. And when we get to that man, because I'm gonna let the chat speak to you. The chat is right. I'm gonna go right to the jugular here. Usually I let it simmer, but no, we're gonna go let the chat speak to you right now. But usually that man that we were gonna speak about, we'll get to him. But that seems to be what he's in right now. He's in a chaotic state. And you've put him in this volatility because he's getting it from all fronts. And, he's usually a man that's in control. He comes on and, he looks to decimate his opponents. But you've got him in a way where you are the most unpredictable man. And he's in the most vulnerable, volatile state he might be in ever. And that's, to me, fascinating because this is a man that's been banished from several companies, banished, but yet you've got him where none of these individuals in different places and promoters couldn't seem to do to him. We're going to get to that, though, for sure.
See, the unpredictability, and we will get to him.
We're going to get to him.
I said it, I thrive on chaos, but see, I also operate outside of the bounds of tradition or reason. And I think that's why everybody considers me so unpredictable. But realistically, I'm a very calculated person. I have a very calculated mind. I just like to blend in a little randomness with a little bit of deliberate manipulation.
Deliberate manipulation. No, that's not a topic or a term we used in my law class back in college. But I'll tell you what we will do before we get to the chat. This is Mr. Brightside's YouTube channel. You want to see what we're going to play here in about 10 minutes? You're going to have that opportunity. And go out there, hit a sub for him. Just whatever you do so you don't be certainly having to be in the crosshairs of his volatility and what he's going to bring, the chaos that he's going to bring. And coming up here in the next few weeks, you're going to see him in action coming up at Reignited Championship Wrestling's Episode 2. You're going to see him here coming up against Il Drago for a chance at the PWF World Championship. And you're also going to see him coming up at Winter Clash in a fatal 4-way 20-minute Ironman survival match for the winner claims the IMF Midwestern Championship, the Midwestern Championship. So we'll see all of that here. But let me get to the chat and let me get one more plug. I want to give one more plug, by the way, because she's 50 away from 500. So go out there and hit a sub for her. For whatever reason you haven't yet, go and get her a sub. It's Dakota Riley _25. So we'll give her a sub. Go do that. We're going to take this off now. It's time to get to the chat because I see some people, and we're going to see some people. Zilla would like to say hello to Mr. Brightside. Definitely hello. I want to say hello to my friend, Mr. Brandon Hardcore Hobbs. I was speaking with Brandon very briefly here and there throughout the last day, and we said hi, and he says hi, and good to see you. Dakota's here. You certainly gave your reasons about Dakota could be under your wing. She's happy to have made it. She said Brightside with an emoji. Speaking of guys that are trying to make their name, Kyle Shelby, the Duke of Detroit, 9.5-year world champion in UCA, would like to say, 9.5 years, he's been a world champion. He's the Universal Champion, world champion, and he's certainly looking to make his name, and he seems to be going some places. He's also the newest signee in ROBW. So thank you, Kyle. Yep, hello. Let's see what else we got here. Brandon says hi. Dakota says hi. Let's see what else we got here. Il Drago. I got one here from Zilla. I have 3 questions for Mr. Brightside. How long have you been wrestling? When did you start wrestling? And who was your inspiration to become a wrestler? A tough one. You don't have to answer. You're a very unpredictable man. We don't want to certainly predict how you can think about it.
Well, Zilla, in actual fact, I've been wrestling my whole life. As far as in a ring or professional wrestling or underground wrestling or however you want to put it. I have been wrestling for a few years now, ever since James Marshall beat me beat him, the Kodak Kid. See, I was born long before Kodak Kid, but but I also know what he knows. I see what he sees, so that's where the experience comes from. I don't know if I ever wanted to start wrestling. I just kind of was born into it, and well, I'm damn good at it, so why give it up? And then as far as inspirations to become a wrestler, I don't know much about wrestling, actually, in all honesty.
What is wrestling? I mean, I don't know what wrestling is.
What is it, right? Yeah.
I don't. My line is always, I know nothing about nothing. I mean, that's my line. I know nothing about anything. I mean, so, it's all.
If I did have an inspiration or somebody that I looked into, would have been the obvious one, Mr. Bray Wyatt. Rest in peace, Mr. Bray.
Well, I thought you would have said. I would have thought you would have said a family member or two, but we'll certainly leave that at that. But okay, but yeah, the All Wrestling Matters page comes up. Zilla says she loves, likes, and appreciates Mr. Brightside. I think Mr. Brightside just asked. She just confirmed where the name is. Killed by Coda says
no. The name itself. The name was given to me by an old mentor of mine. If you watch my channel later on tonight, and we're gonna watch
the video here in about 10 minutes,
and you'll find out a little more. But I had a troubled childhood, as you could say, and I found myself wandering, and I came across one of the most amazing, beautiful, just incredible things I've ever seen in my entire life. A carnival. And there, a man who I know as the ringmaster took me under his wing. And at the end of it all, he's the one that gave me the name Brightside.
There's always a bright way to answer those questions, and you certainly did that. And that's Mr. Brightside's YouTube channel. Go give him a sub. Yep, we're going to come back to that. Let's get to some more comments. Justin Parsnip, obviously, that's what the chat's saying. And then, speaking of people, the PWF champion is here, the man that you could be seeing potentially if things obviously fall into place. You got to still take care of business. He's got to take care of business. But he says, parsley, pronounced parsley. You are all parasites. Jason Storm was right, but you don't even know who Jason Storm is. So for you, you're very busy being the most unpredictable man, and so I won't bore you with that attention.
Okay. What else we got? Who else is talking, man?
Sean Jovi says, "Oh, great, this guy."
Sean Jovi.
You were responsible for his tailspin here. You were part of the people that were part to his demise in 2024.
Very true, but I won't take anything away from Sean. He gave me a fight.
He did.
He beat me down, and I just slipped away on that one.
Well, you're right now beating him in that poll right now for best on the mic, and if you want to continue to vote in that poll, WCE Heat, go to community, and you'll see the two votes at the top, the choices for best on the mic and feud of the year. Management in Appleton is here. Hello, Mr. Brightside. There we go.
Hello.
Jovi was saying hello.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. James Taylor, ROEW owner, is checking in. He obviously is here with a keen vested interest. He's probably going to be very happy about some of the things you're going to say about that individual who, by the way, I'm sure he's going to pay you a visit tonight. You know it, right? He's going to pay you a visit, and because even Justin Parsley would agree with you deep down, because Justin Parsley was saying those same things about the man that you have in your sights, basically saying he wants to hear himself, and he's got to be backstage waiting for the link, and he's got to make sure he speaks. And those are some of the same things. Ironically enough, people from all different spectrums, whether it's James Taylor, Justin Parsley, even Soldier GP, they seem to think saying out loud about that individual. Isn't that ironic that those individuals, they didn't really seem to have the bravery or the courage to say what you've been saying? Yeah. You said it out loud.
No, everybody hides behind a mask, including him, including me.
Yeah.
See, are we getting into him now?
Not yet. We have the chat still. We still have some chats here.
Let's do some chats.
No doubt this guy is the second greatest underground wrestler to paint his face like a clown. He showed an old image of himself as a clown.
What is that? Justin Parasite. He said his name. What was that again?
It's Parsley, actually.
Parasite.
He's actually a 7-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer. 7 times.
Oh, fancy.
He wants to be an 8-timer, apparently, but he wants to be a 17-timer. But but who knows? Let's see who else here. By the way, I got to ask you about this guy. There's a guy named Chase Wakefield. Now, he's getting married, and he wants to have a wrestling wedding super show. It's the Chase Wakefield Wedding Invitational. And, there are certainly some friends, like Mr. Parsley's been invited. I'm sure Mr. Jovi and some others are going to be invited as well. And Mr. Wakefield's here 2 weeks from coming up on Friday. And I was wondering, I'm going to put his poster up for it because, I'm sponsoring his wedding, let's say his wedding invitational. But what do you think about that? Should you want to be the most unpredictable person to ever attend a wrestling wedding invitational or a Chase Wakefield wedding invitational? I mean, what do you think about that? Getting married and having a wrestling show at the same time. Like, what's your thoughts on all that?
I love the idea of it. His wife must be a keeper. I'm going to have to.
Listen. And she wants it more than him, by the way, his soon-to-be wife.
Really?
She wants to have this more than him. You would think Chase Wakefield, this guy, another guy kind of like you, definitely unpredictable, goes and bangs to his own drum. But no, not so fast. His other half, his better half, as a matter of fact, she wants to have this more than him, and and I would think that you got to be invited. I mean, if D'Angelo LaFlame, Justin Parsley are invited, some others that come on here regularly, I would think that Mr. Brightside could certainly brighten the mood there in Pennsylvania in August coming up, and I would think that at this invitational that you should be there.
The Wakefield Invitational. Well, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this, Tom. If I told you in the world right now, if I was to show up, would that really be unpredictable?
I think that would really be something where it wouldn't be a real joke. I think it would be a real big deal if you showed up to the Chase Wakefield Wedding Invitational.
We'll just have to wait and see.
We will certainly do that. And I want to follow Chase on Instagram. It is the _CW_invitational. He will be here on December 20th. And he's actually wrestling some pretty big names he's got on the show. He's actually got a GBYWN legend he's wrestling in Matt DeMorris. It's a dream match. Matt DeMorris and Chase Wakefield. And we got a slew of other great matches. D'Angelo LaFlame, yes, he exists against Asher Christ. And we got the stepdads, my buddy Rad Dad, Sean Jovi's very, very good friend, and a whole bunch of other people. So check that out. Let's get to some more people in the chat because they're waiting to talk to you. Zilla likes Justin Parsley, and she likes James Taylor. Let's see here. Justin Parsley says, stop it. Stop hating me. I haven't done anything irredeemable. Tom, tell them to stop bullying me or I'll leave this chat. Do you think he's getting bullied tonight? I don't think he's getting bullied. I don't think he's getting bullied.
No. I don't see any bullying happening.
I think that Mr. Parsley should stay in the chat. And I think he should definitely stay in the chat because in about 5 minutes, I'm sure he's going to be very eagerly anticipating what you're going to say about an individual that he certainly had a lot to say.
I'm on the edge of my seat, Tom.
We're going to get there. He calls him Justina. I don't think he's Justina. Coda's going to run the IMF one day. Yeah, Gary, look at you. Shelby, you have a woman's name for your last name. Just watch it. I'm not going to go there. If he's making the deal, let's go, pretty boy. People in the chat, leave Justin Parsley alone. And you have an herb for a last name. I'm not going there. We're not talking about herbs and spices. That was like in 5th grade. I need you for a holiday roast I'm going to make. I think he's liking you a little bit more. Thanks, Kyle. I hope to run the IMF. Yep, stick to training. I know you were training this past week. And of course, hard work. I don't know what they're talking about here, but that stuff, my phone's for the birds. Also, Kyle is saying that he's becoming a Brightside fan. Brightside deathmatch in the future. Let's get chaotic.
Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Shelby. I must look into you, see if here's something to look into.
He's a talker. He's going to be in ROEW, and we'll see what he brings to the table there. Thank you, Zilla, for voting. But the man that you're going to be wrestling very soon is here, Il Drago. Hello. Everyone and enough destruction will calm the waves to wash bodies from the shore and reap what the high chief speaks. The truth, all respect due. Tonight, the tides turn on you, Mr. Brightside.
I was wondering when you would show up, Drago. Everyone.
Maybe he's like you. He doesn't need to wait backstage and ask for a link at the beginning of the show. Maybe he wanted to come in and let you have the opportunity, and then he addressed you the way, in an unpredictable like way, you would.
Well, I can sure respect that, but Drago, what do you know about truth? See, you say that you speak it, and that may be true, but I am the truth. I embody the truth. Everybody, hides, and everybody masks themselves. But though I'm wearing face paint, this is who I am. This is who you're gonna get. But all respect due to you, the tides will turn.
Well, I tell you what, I can't wait when the two of you are together here in 2 weeks tomorrow. 2 weeks tomorrow. I cannot wait for that, and we're very excited. Please follow our friends over at the IMF. They are just at about 2,800 subscribers. Omen Black would like to say, I don't know if this is directed toward you. Kyle Shelby, I'm the deathmatch hardcore king around these parts, so you're barking up the wrong tree. This clown couldn't hold a candle to my work. I think he's talking about you. I think, based on clown, I'm assuming. Because you've got plenty of history with him.
See, I somewhat came across him, or at least
you came across him in 2 states, by the way. In 2 states, you shared a locker room with him.
Yeah, couldn't hold a candle to your work. What, for the death match? Oh, come on. Really, Omen? What is a death match besides just a bunch of egos beating each other with barbed wire and fire and tasers and all that good stuff? No. See, you wouldn't want to give me those opportunities. You wouldn't want to give me those options. See, you can use them to your advantage, but I will use them to your downfall.
Well, I'll tell you what. Rather cryptic words there from the most unpredictable man, Mr. Brightside, who certainly loves chaos. Omen brother, let's run it. Storm is an infected bird. Isn't right. He's wrong. Very wrong. The wrongest. Well, that's a different promotion for a different time. We'll leave that at that. Mr. Parsley would like to say, Chase, you're going to marry a woman who would be better off sleazing it up. Who'd be dumb enough to choose to be? I'm not going to go there. We're going to move on. Next comment. Next comment. That is rather. That's Anthony Steele like. We'll certainly leave that at that. And I don't know who Janie is. I'm not doing anything but saying next comment, please. Next comment. Jason Storm was here Monday, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But let's go for some more comments. Brightside, beat Drago so I can slap that makeup off your face and back onto your mom's. Well, I am not going there again. Mr. Parsley is coming out swinging tonight. Is this Anthony Steele talking rather than Justin Parsley? Because this sounds like Anthony Steele vocabulary tonight.
Oh, Justin Parasite, did I hit a nerve?
But he is rooting for you, though. He is rooting for you. At the very least, he's rooting for you. And, well, I think I tell you why he's rooting for you, though. You know, it's Foundation, and he's Sinners, you know. And obviously, you know what time it is. You know, he's trying to get you to 4 up, 4 down, beat Drago. But something tells me you ain't loyal to the Foundation or to the Sinners. You're the most unpredictable, chaotic man in wrestling, and you ain't loyal to anybody. That's just what I can say.
Remember, Tom.
Yes, sir.
Fair.
Good point. Let me get to some more people. The nameless ones here. Something I'm sure you share in common, but you're not the nameless one. 17 more days, we will come home to the IMF. How will the landscape shape when IMF and the whole underground scene witnesses the return of the 6 bringers of suffering? To have peace, you must have suffering. That I think was that from Franklin Delano Roosevelt in World War II, but we'll see. I could tell that you are not one of the nameless ones because you're Mr. Brightside, but you know. Yeah. But that was troubling, by the way. That was also troubling the man we're going to get to here very shortly. We're about 2 minutes away from that. We're going to, definitely another thing that's troubling him. Hello to Mr. Yoshi Matsuda, the Wrestling Zero leader, is here. I want to say hello to Mr. Matsuda. He is here in the great state of Massachusetts. And how long are you here for? I hope that you're here and maybe you come to New York City. If you have a chance, I'd definitely love to run into you. And give Wrestling Zero a sub, Wrestling_0. We're 2 subs away from 120. If you're out there, go hit a sub for us here. Mr. Matsuda is always here in every stream. We want to support those from the land down under. Hello to the nameless ones. The nameless ones aren't going to give us their thoughts on Winter Clash. They're the nameless ones. Sean Jovi says bullying Parsley is America's favorite pastime. I am going to say that's not necessarily what we're going to endorse here on Sportswire, but I understand Mr. Parsley and Mr. Jovi aren't friends because you know what time it is there. Yep, hello to the OGS, Mr. Matsuda. If Brightside wants to take me under his wing, I'll be ready. Let's go, pretty boy. There you go. We got a couple of more comments here. Parsley, there is a path from this island that leads to your title. Don't lose your mind like you lost your daughter to Soldier while I'm on the way. I'm not speaking on what happened with Mr. Parsley's daughter and Soldier GP. It was obviously a big thing about what happened there at Dirty Deeds, but we're certainly not going there. We're definitely not going there. That's for sure. We're not going there. But you still got to face still Drago. But Drago certainly got his sights set on either Parsley or Soldier GP. Yep. Greetings to the High Chief. We are coming home to bring change and peace to the IMF. Change the system for how it is running. Free the voiceless and be the salvation for the damned and those stuck in the shackles from them. Hopefully, politicians will learn from that. Hopefully, politicians. Hopefully, but I think I'm going to say probably not in this lifetime. Let's move on here.
The nameless one sound like right up my
Justin Parsnip, Parasite, we are still going to bully. We are not endorsing bullying on Sportswire. Let me put it that way, because one of the guys that the man we're going to talk about who did a show with on Once Upon a Time, he said some of those things, and we're not going to endorse those things. RCW is airing Drago and Brightside this week. Yeah, well, we're going to tune into that. And if you want to go watch that, by the way, for more information and details, all you have to do is go to the All Wrestling Matters YouTube channel. You can check it out right there. All Wrestling Matters. It is All Wrestling Matters. So do me a favor. I got a lot of people here in the chat. I've only got 18 subscribers, but I got 20 plus people here right now. Go hit a sub for me. I'm with Zilla on this one. We're not bullying anybody here. Also, I hope you do swim to me, Drago. Don't forget to breathe. You're gonna need everyone's out. Boy, this is turning like I thought we were in the holiday spirit. Everybody, boy, it's getting personal here on Sportswire. Brandon Hobbs says, "What about hiding behind a mask, laughing my ass off?" Yeah, it's one of those days on Sportswire. It's gonna get real personal here in about 60 seconds. Bro, I will make your clown ego about as deflated as Pennywise. We're going there. That's a band I haven't heard from in a while. Was in the end of chapter 2. Let's go back in the history books. I've beaten you already. Do you remember this? Or you've been I think you're not focused on him. I think that your sights are set on somebody else. I don't remember you saying anything about this here.
Yeah, see, he didn't. Omen, you never beat me. You beat Kodak Kid.
At a past life, in a past time. That was past tense. That was yesterday. Today is today, and
Yes,
I'm looking at Mr. Brightside. I don't even know who Kodak Kid is. I don't know anything about him. He was not the picture of perfection. That's for sure. He was definitely not. Omen's going in. Sunday, I'm in. Oh, you're in Canarsie. Okay, I know Canarsie very well. What? Maybe we'll talk about that off the air. He's in Canarsie. Canarsie is a neighborhood in southeast Brooklyn off the Bell Parkway. Interesting. Then I'm back in Boston, home. Okay, so you're probably going to be, well, we'll figure it out. Thank you for that. Everybody say hello to Yoshi. Love Yoshi Matsuda. And let's see here. The quality of the state of being true is the definition of truth. This briefcase shows the truth I speak and live by you. Put on a face to show a lost cause. I put on war paint to cause others a lost dragon. Interesting.
Drago.
Interesting.
Being true is the definition of truth. The briefcase shows the truth I speak. See, you needed the briefcase for validation, didn't you? At least that's what it sounds like. Let's read it again.
The quality or state of being true is the definition of truth. This briefcase shows the truth I speak and live by you. Put on a face to show a lost cause. I put on war paint to cause others a lost. Then he put dragon, meaning his small.
See, Drago, the briefcase shows the truth I speak, or you speak, or whoever speaks. But again, you're just speaking the truth. I am the truth, and you're gonna find that out this week.
We're most certainly gonna find that out. And Soldier GP is in the house, partially getting that dirty top. I have to say, to break the fourth wall, to kind of go there a little bit, it is kind of interesting. That's a pretty good way to sum up Justin Barsic tonight on sports. And I'm not taking a side on this, but he is definitely getting that dirty Dom heat tonight. But something tells me though that Justin Barsic doesn't have Liv Morgan with him. At least he's not going home to Liv Morgan.
Oh, he ain't that lucky.
No, he ain't that lucky. I might be able to, maybe if I'm lucky, show out a lot of my Benjamin Franklins. Maybe I could pull it off, but I'm going to need the Benjamin Franklins. Let's just put it that way. It's not all about the Benjamins here. Soldier, yep, hello, Soldier. See, I'm super. Okay, yeah, we'll definitely talk about it off the air. I want all the rain. I want all the blame. I want all the smoke. I want all the blame. And there's a photo of that. I'm going to get to him. We're literally like 2 more comments away from that. I don't know who to support, Brightside or Drago, but I both enjoy watching a lot. It's a great way to put it. And I'm glad that we're with everybody here right now watching some of that. And I'll be here tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, and a little bit of a different show. I'll be here with the 5-Town Sound women's soccer head coach, Jeff Litwin. Something tells me here, Mr. Brightside, you can take the night off on tomorrow's show because I'll be talking women's college soccer. So you can take the night off with pay, by the way. But
wait, I love women's soccer.
Yeah, they're college soccer.
No,
players.
I really don't. I was just making a joke. I'm not very good at it.
You can show up. I would think that tomorrow, especially if we're going to see her in a few minutes, you can take the rest of the night off with pay tomorrow. Parsley, you're going to get this ass whipping at Winter Clash. Unfortunately, I have to go. Yes, thank you, though. Dakota Riley _25. Brightside, stay chaotic. Oh, we're going to stay chaotic. Thank you, Dakota, for all you do for us in the IMF. I will get you onto Sportswire very soon. It is time now for what the world has been waiting for, because you've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for it. He's been waiting for it. And I'm going to go right to it. I'm going to let this video play out, and I want to get your reactions now that the world is going to see here. So let's go to it right here for the audience.
Let's do it.
The real deal. I mean, what you cling to, isn't it? That's your whole identity. A nickname, a tagline, a gimmick. You scream at the top of your lungs, hoping, praying that it'll drown out the truth of who you really are. Because deep down, Anthony Holloway, you know that's all you are, and that's all it is. A stupid gimmick. Way to hide who you really are. And here's the worst part about it, Anthony. It's not even a good one. And you built your entire career on something so flimsy, so hollow. It's almost tragic. Almost. You shout the real deal like it's supposed to mean something. What about you, Anthony? Let's see, the ego, loudmouth, arrogance, the desperate need for validation from people who wouldn't care if you disappeared tomorrow. You're not the real deal. You never were. You are the goddamn opposite. You've used that gimmick to run from yourself, the real you. Use it as a mask, a crutch, your way of pretending that you're more than just another guy with a big mouth who has nothing to back it up. Because without it, you know, what's left? Anthony. Nothing. No spotlight. No cheers, no aura of invincibility. Just you, Anthony Holloway. Standing alone, exposed for what you've always been, a man trying so desperately to not be forgotten. And that's the real tragedy, isn't it? You don't even matter enough to hate. You're just there. A stupid gimmick, footnote, a placeholder in history. And when this is all over, Anthony, when I'm done ripping away that mask and leaving you bare for the whole world to see, no one will remember your name. Not Steele, not Holloway, nothing. You'll just be the man who hid so long that he forgot who he really was. You know the worst part about you, Anthony, isn't the gimmick. It's the thought that you had it, thinking it was going to save you. No. Nothing can save you now. Not Steele, not Holloway. Not anyone. And that's what makes you the joke. And the worst part about it all, Anthony, when it's all said and done, and you're laying on the mat looking up at me standing over you, you're gonna thank me. Sincerely yours, Mr. Brightside.
Sincerely yours, Mr. Brightside. Sincerely yours. Oswald Brightside. You said a mouthful without almost even saying anything.
Yeah.
You said Anthony Steele. This guy, you even referred to him as potentially his name that was given to him at birth. And you talked about he didn't matter. I mean, why frame it the way you framed it just now?
I've spent a lot of time thinking about that question. Thinking what is it about Anthony that drives me to target him. Um, there's it's I think it's because he embodies everything that I despise. The control, the order, the ego, the power. But as I said,
So you're saying essentially what guys like Soldier GP, James Taylor, Justin Parsley's been kind of beating
Mhm.
around the bushes,
Yeah,
other individuals in other places that worked with Anthony Steele, that
yeah.
they've been saying about him essentially. But you're saying it in a way that you don't even think he matters. You don't think
Oh,
you think he's a joke. These guys, I mean, James Taylor runs here every time, and it's almost like the Odd Couple. Dun, da, 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 da. When they come on
yeah.
here, Soldier GP and Anthony
Mm,
Steele, yeah, they go back and forth. All right, Justin Parsley's now joined the chorus. Everywhere Anthony Steele's gone, it's the same thing. The promo world, the other
mm,
places he was in. I mean, James Taylor sounded like he had a soliloquy last week on the
mm,
show about Anthony Steele, and I couldn't
mm,
quite understand why. But you don't even want to give him that time. You call him a
uh,
joke, and you say
mm.
sincerely yours, sincerely
Sincerely
yours.
yours, Mr. Brightside. See, Steele has an obsession with control. He has inflated ego and his desperate need for validation to be. He needs everybody to believe that he's up here, and my philosophies what I believe in and what he believes in makes him the perfect target for me. Really, Steele's a man who thrives on dominance and control and
But he
power.
also thrives on being somebody that nobody tells him what to do. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Justin Parsley told him that you take orders from him, and
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of defies the logic of Anthony Steele. It
Mm-hmm.
defies the logic. And I mean, really what you're telling me is that you might be the most unpredictable and chaotic man, but really Anthony Steele, he is predictable. He might thrive on being controversial. He might thrive on pitching
Uh,
things and doing things, but really it sounds
uh,
to me like, from what you're telling me in your two promos about him, that Anthony Steele is predictable, and
I
he's
was
so
just about to say it. I couldn't have said it better myself, but let me
yeah.
try. See, Steele's got that riggediness about him, which is weakness.
And that's why
It's
he
it's
can't
a
last in places, right? That's what
yeah.
people say. He
Well,
can't last anywhere.
like you said, that weakness is a predictable pattern um, that I am looking to exploit. Steele's constant need to prove himself and be controversial and protect his image is exactly what I want to dismantle. Um, See, with Steele, or at least me targeting Steele, I'm not trying to just take him down physically. I'm setting out to unmake everything Anthony stands for.
But it
His
sounds to
his
me like
pride,
but
reputation.
you're telling me, Mr. Brightside, and Anthony's going to be here in a couple of minutes. I'm going to basically let the cat out of the bag. You know it. I mean, Mr.
Yeah.
Parsley, Justin Parsley on Sunday's show basically said what you're going to say anyway, that Anthony Steele will want the link. He's going to be here. He's going to repudiate every single thing you say, and he's going to take all the air away from you. He's going to take it all from you. So you're
He's,
tonight, he's going to come in here and he's going to suck all the air out of you. He's going to come in here but
mm,
almost it sounds to me like that's exactly what you want. That's exactly what you
mhm.
want. And Mr. Steele is going to give that to you. But what did you think, though, about Mr. Steele last week saying that, like, he wasn't even sweating you, wasn't thinking of you, and that, like, it's actually the other way around? What did you make of that?
He might not have been thinking of me, but I bet you he is now. See, I explained it. Why I target him.
Yeah.
Why? Because Steel is a stepping stone for me.
A stepping stone.
He hides behind that mask, that big ego, but again, without the moniker of the real deal. You know, what does he have? What is he? Nothing.
Well, he's the
Literally.
IMF. Well, he is the IMF United States. I know you're not a big man of belts, but he is the IMF United States champion.
More validation for Steel, isn't it? More reason for him to stand and to say that he's better than everybody else, and that may be true even. But at the end of the day, my goal is the exact same. I'm going to strip away the ego. I'm going to strip away the real deal moniker. I'm going to strip away the swagger. I'm going to strip away those stupid sunglasses.
So you're not a fan of him wearing sunglasses on an interview. You're not a fan of the Jordan shoes.
I'm not a fan of him in any way, shape, or form. But
but you know, it's interesting because, and before I do anything, I want to give a big shout out to one of my very, very dearest supporters out there, Luke Leyland, who's listening at 3:44 in the morning right now in the UK, who's enjoying the show. Luke Leyland, of course, the first ever person to have fought in Dombay from the UK, a man that has just done a lot. He was trained by Dean Allmark, a wrestler turned documentary filmmaker and Dombay fighter. He's enjoying the show, and thank you, Luke, for all that you've done for us. But, I mean, really, you're saying things that people out loud, they've been thinking quietly. I mean, really. I mean, that's what it sounds to me. Well,
everybody feels. I'm just saying things that not only people feel, but I'm just pointing out the truth.
Do you think Anthony Steele will last in the IMF?
Not when I'm done with him. Because when I strip it all away and everybody sees Anthony Holloway, he's never going to be able to recover. He's never going to want to step in that spotlight again because I'm going to show the world who he really is.
Let me ask you two questions. Number one, are you doing what the majority of that locker room silently would love to do to Anthony Steele?
Of course, but they don't have the balls to do it. They don't have. See, they can say it like a keyboard warrior over messages, over face to face on a video call like this. But when it comes down to standing in the ring, it's just they're too scared. They're not. Then they're afraid. Either they're afraid or they know that they might come out on top, but it's gonna be a battle.
It'll definitely be a battle.
And don't take anything away from Anthony Steele. He is quite a dangerous man when it comes to the ring.
He's a fantastic performer. I don't think anybody would ever take away his ability in the ring. I say it all the time. To me, what's controversial about Anthony Steele is that people don't talk about what he actually does in the ring. His passion for wrestling exceeds, I think, almost by and large anybody else that comes on here. So there's no question that Anthony Steele as a wrestler, I mean, that's to me the most controversial part, is that people don't really talk about that. But let me ask you one more question. I'm going to bring Mr. Steele on here. You know it. I know it. The world's waiting for it. But do you consider yourself a vigilante?
No.
Because it sounds to me like what you're saying about Anthony Steele is the making of a vigilante. You're somebody that sees Anthony Steele as this bad guy, this bad figure that should be removed from the IMF. And you are a guy that you're not aligned with anybody. You're wanting to, again, from your vantage point, the definition of a vigilante is fight what's evil. And maybe you do it in not the quintessential traditional ways of somebody who might see things and do it by a morally conscious way. But You sound like a vigilante, and Anthony Steele is this big bad guy, this egomaniac, this guy that comes on and, who said the All Wrestling Matters movement, he didn't believe in it, and, he's been out of different locker rooms, and, but that's what it sounds like. That were you even offended by some of the things he said about WCE, the company you represent? Did that ever
Of
bother
course
you at
not.
all? No?
No, but
This isn't about them.
here's the thing though. See, vigilantes typically act with a sense of justice to right some wrongs, right? And some sort of specific way, but no, my motivations are much more chaotic and self-serving.
Okay. Well, you know what? Well,
I'm
go ahead.
driven by desire to
Mhm.
embrace and spread chaos, destruction, and what do you say? Unpredictability.
You are the most unpredictable man. But do you know what you're getting into if you have that opportunity to step foot in a ring with Anthony? So not just the battle royal. I know the battle royal, you guys mixed it up, but you know what you're getting into.
I know absolutely what I'm getting into. See, the weird thing about it, Tom, is I truly, truly believe I know Anthony Steele better than he knows Anthony Steele.
Really?
Yeah. See, I've watched, I've studied. I don't just say these things because I believe them. I say them because that's what's there.
Okay. All
But
right. Well, you know what?
but
All
as
right.
as far as what I'm getting into, I think that's why people don't step up, because they know it's not going to be easy. And again, I'm not taking anything away from the real deal, but when you strip it all away, I'm going to be standing tall.
Okay.
I might have to see the problem is one-on-one fighting with my fists, he's going to win. He's got a lot more
He's got
strength,
the size
and
advantage.
he's got a
got
lot
the
more
strength. Yep.
size. So I'm gonna have to really think outside the box on this one.
Well, you're going to certainly have to do that. Obviously, we'll see. I think Anthony is a fantastic competitor, and I think, again, what he does in the ring is the biggest controversial thing that no one talks about. But you know it for the remaining minutes of the show.
Yes.
He's here. You basically were your own Nostradamus.
Yeah.
He's going to certainly debunk everything you've said.
Yeah.
And it's that time for the United States champion to say his piece.
Take off the goddamn sunglasses.
I will when you take off that face paint and reveal. No, and reveal who you truly are. Kodak Kid, the same helpless little man from WCE that tried and tried and tried to make it in this industry. You say I hide behind my gimmick, my shtick, but you're a man hiding from the world. You see, Brightside, you're right about me. You're 110% right about Anthony Steele. Anthony Steele is just a man that goes through everyday life trying to get by. And sometimes I got to put on a mask. We all do. In this world, every man, woman, being puts on a mask when they step out those doors and face reality as it comes to them. But see, I'm a different person when I put on that mask. And another thing that you got right is hand-to-hand combat. You ain't beating me. You ain't beating me. Because let it be known, Brightside, launching you across that gymnasium.
We could totally bring that up.
It felt so good getting my hands on you. It felt so good eliminating you from the Battle Royal. And you know what? It's going to feel even better when you don't win at Winter Clash. because I'm facing an adversary that we both know, and Sean Jovi. And when I beat Sean Jovi at Winter Clash, I guess the question would have to remain, what's next for the real deal Anthony Steele? And I have a very, very bright idea, Mr. Brightside. The thing that I want more is, at this point, I've proved to the foundation that I can destroy them without even breaking a sweat. So now my objective is destroying the guys from that useless company in Wisconsin. And you're just like all of them, Brightside. You're weak. You're manipulative. And you try to use your mind games to make your way through the IMF. But as I've shown for the past couple months, mind games are always on my side. But I give you the fact that mind games is something you like to play. And the mind games that you are bringing forth to me, I respect. I take pride in listening to you speak. Because the more that you open your mouth is the more that I see Kobe. I don't see Brightside. I see a scared little fella hiding behind his mask. A guy that is a greedy man who wants to destroy me. See, that's exactly what greed is.
Look at what happened now. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Anthony Steele and Mr. Brightside. And look who eliminates Mr. Brightside, the United States champion of the world himself, Anthony Steele. And they at first doesn't get right. The second time it'll certainly work. But
And you see, Brightside, when it's all said and done, we have the same mission inside the doors of IMF. And that is do what we want to whoever we want. And that's why it's going to feel so good when come Winter Clash, I have everything still wrapped around me while you get to make that drive back to Wisconsin and look at your mommy and daddy of WCE and tell them you came back empty-handed. But it's okay. It's okay, Brightside. Because at this point, the games ain't enough. The talking ain't enough.
it's not.
And it seems to me that there's only one way to settle this. And see, you're looking towards the 21st of December.
Yeah.
I'm looking past it. I'm looking towards January.
Okay.
So mark my words, Brightside. When I beat the resident rock star and retain the IMF United States Championship, whether you're champion or not,
Well,
in January, that's the time that we get to see what Mr. Brightside is truly made of. Is he just this fucking lackey that wants to do dumb shit and put his body on the line week after week for a cheap pop? Or is it a guy that's ready to get down and dirty to do business? Because as I spoke, the one thing that you have not gathered yourself is I'm a businessman. I've said it multiple times on Sportswire, and I'm going to say it to your face. I'm a businessman. And in this industry, you have to do business. And since you stuck your nose in mine, you are now my business. So there's a little thing that you obviously haven't studied on, and that is every man has his dark place.
Yeah. Very true.
About 3 years ago, I showed a man my dark place. I showed a man what happens when you put Anthony to the brink of insanity.
Hmm.
At Brightside, seems like you're a little clinically insane, so I might have to go there too. I might have to tap in to that dark place once more. And if I do that, Brightside,
What'll happen?
You will never look at me the same. See, because you think it's just ego. You think it's just manipulation. You think it's just all about me. Brightside, no. It's what's best for this industry. It's what's best for the company. It's what's best for the entire locker room in Palo, Iowa. And you could talk about how many locker rooms I've been kicked out of. But the one thing that you can't say that I can is whether I leave that locker room or stay in that locker room, I still stayed the same. Because there's only me. There's only Anthony Steele. But inside Mr. Brightside, there's still Kodak Kid. And I'm going to exploit Kodak Kid. I'm going to exploit the little fairy tale dreams of Mr. Brightside, where he gets his happy ending of trying to destroy me. The thing about it is, Almond Black tried, he failed. Jordan Nets tried, he failed. And for the second time, come the 21st, Sean Jovi is going to fail. And I'm going to make you out just like every single last one of them before you. A liar. And now, a wanted man.
A wanted man. A liar. Mr. Brightside. Obviously, it's getting very personal here between you two. Yes, sir.
Steele, Anthony, Tony Boy. Let me ask you something. Are you hearing that? The laughter, the whispers in the back of your mind? That's me, Steele. I'm the clown in your head. I'm pulling the strings, making you question everything, aren't I? You thought you were in control, don't you? Oh, but I am the control. I've already infected your thoughts. Twisted your world into a nightmare, and now you can't tell the difference between what's real and what's madness. I'm everywhere, in every thought, in every move you make. I'm the insanity creeping into your bones. And you know what the worst part is? It's only going to get worse for you, because once the madness takes hold, Anthony, there's no going back. You brought up that you overpowered me, and you did throw me across the Palo Community Center twice. But what you don't realize is every step you make, every attack you bring to me, it's up here. Now you might think I'm unpredictably coming at you in these moments. No. I'm studying what you would do, how you would do it, when you would do it.
Yes, you eliminated me, but how do you know I didn't just let you? I jumped off the ropes and you caught me very, very swiftly, but how, do you know for sure that you actually caught me, or did I want you to? Am I trying to read Anthony Steele? Steele, you want to play mind games? You want to try and get in my head? Well, you're already too late. I have opened that door, and you walked straight into an asylum. Welcome to the lunatic's playground. See, Anthony, you say I hide behind a mask. You say I'm Kodak Kid. Yeah, but see, this mask isn't to hide behind. It's who I am. It's what I was born into. It's just a way of life. I just am. And at the end of the day, still, you are still nothing. You are nothing. You take away the ego, you take away the sunglasses and the stupid gimmick. You take away the fans, you take away the lights. Then what? What is it? What do you have? Nothing.
What do I have?
Nothing.
Let's take it away then. There's one.
Okay.
There's two.
Oh, now we're talking.
And let's take away all the fans. Let's take away everything, right? Everything that I've gained, every fucking bridge I've built. Let's take it all away, Brightside. And you see, I took everything away from myself. See, the point that people don't grasp is I didn't get kicked out of those companies. I forced myself out. I weaned myself out of those pissant fucking companies that are now irrelevant as fuck. XCW, irrelevant without Justin Parsley. It's time to bring him up. TBW, irrelevant without Anthony fucking Steele. Resurrection, irrelevant without Anthony fucking Steele. And guess what? Brightside, is IMF made the biggest decision of their lifetime and by signing me. And you want to know why? It's not because I'm controversial. It's not because I'm good in that ring. It is for one reason and one reason only. This mask that I hide behind, my moniker that you so desperately want to try to expose me at. Nah, man. It ain't a moniker. That's my way of life. It's being real and exposing the fakes in this industry. See, because the biggest difference about me and you is, hey, guys in the chat, rewind about a minute and a half to 2 minutes and watch Brightside. Because the biggest difference is you want to be real and you want to fucking expose the fakes. Anthony Steele speaks to you directly.
Yeah.
While you're looking at a piece of paper, figuring out what lines you want to read off next for your next promo. See, Anthony Steele don't have to write these rhymes. Anthony Steele don't have to write these words down, Brightside, because the words flow through my mouth like a hot knife through butter. Smooth, sweet, and straightforward. Because Brightside, the difference between me and you is I can come at you about anything in your life and make you feel a certain type of way. Yet, you've still not figured out how to break a nerve in my body. And that's because, Brightside, you're so worried about the damnation of Anthony Steele, the destruction of everything that I've built going on these 8 years. But you failed to understand the one thing is you do not withhold the power to break me. You do not have the fucking power to destroy everything I've built. And that's because Anthony Steele is a tall mountain to climb. And for a very short man, that's going to be a long journey for you. And see, like I told Parsley, I'm going to watch his match. And I'm going to watch yours too. Because there's two things that separate me and you. While you're still out here seeking what your future holds.
Yeah.
I'm living in my destiny. I'm living in the ultimate dream of the IMF. I am the United States champion.
Mhm.
I am one of the biggest stars in IMF. I don't need to be a placeholder like Nicholas Crenson, like Freddie Daniels,
Mhm.
like Mr. Brightside.
Mhm.
I don't have to worry about what I'm doing at the next show. I don't have to worry about the next booking that they're going to try to hire me for. No. See, management pays me up front. I show up to the fucking Palo Community Center and I do the same thing. I win, I retain, and I leave. And Brightside, once you grasp the reality that Anthony Steele is not the dude you want to do this to, then and only then, you might grasp your reality. And that is, while you use your mind games, you try to use your words to harm individuals,
Mhm.
you're not like me.
Mhm.
You'll never be like me.
No.
And that is your biggest downfall. Is because without being like me, you will never understand how to defeat me. And
Well, I'll
come,
tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Steele, he has shown that there's no more fun and games. There is no more fun and games, and he's taking the gloves off. He's taking the glasses off, even, ladies and gentlemen. He's taking the hood off, and certainly Sean Jovi is just a stepping stone to maybe what's to come, because I heard the words January, but last I checked, Mr. Brightside's got, well, his own roadblocks. But I'll tell you what, one day in 2025, what I learned tonight, I don't know when this will be. I don't know if it'll be January 1st or Summer Bash or anywhere in between. But Mr. Brightside and Anthony Steele are on a crash collision course to maybe have the most unpredictable and controversial match in underground wrestling history. Because think about it. Anthony Steele, you love him or hate him, he's still a 5-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer. He's still the IMF United States champion. He's still the man that spoke his mind. Some would even say spoke the truth about companies he no longer works for. Mr. Brightside, well, he's the most unpredictable man right now in all of wrestling, not even just underground wrestling. And certainly Sean Jovi's still got nightmares about him. Let's not even go there with that guy that's supposed to be a sinister, or even, I don't know, James Marshall, and maybe Il Drago's going to find that out firsthand. But what I know right now is that these two men, they're right now, I don't know if the IMF in 2025 is big enough for the two of them. Because I know right now that it's getting real. It's getting very real. In fact, it's so real that Mr. Brightside, he left. He left because he knows that just maybe he's gotten his wish. He's gotten his wish. And Anthony Steele, it is a tall mountain to climb. Ask the likes of Gabe Sayers, the Heartstopper. Ask the likes of James Taylor. Ask the likes of DJ Wilbert. Ask the likes of Jordan Netz. Most certainly, ask the likes of Nicholas Crenson. Sean Jovi, been there, done that. How about, I don't know, Nolan Money McDermott? There's only one Anthony Steele, but apparently Mr. Brightside is coming back for a few final thoughts. And just when we thought, Mr. Brightside, you were going to be like everybody else, as we're getting ready to close this show, you've come back for some final parting shots.
Oh, final parting shots.
Final parting
You
shots.
know, Anthony, you made a lot of good points, and maybe you are right. Maybe I am hiding behind this mask. Maybe deep down I am just a small little boy who's barking up the wrong tree. Maybe you're right. We're going to step into the ring together and you're going to demolish me. You're going to squash me. Yeah, a little inside baseball for you guys. But here's the thing, Anthony. You have that title. You have that real deal. Plenty of Hall of Fame inductions in the Sportzwire. But that's a lot to lose. Now, if you are right and you demolish me and you take me out, no harm done to me. I'm just a small fish from the small pond, WCE. I got nothing to lose. So what happens? What happens if you're wrong? What happens if just by 1% chance you're wrong? And I walk in and do exactly what I'm claiming to do.
Small fish, small pond.
How about
nothing
this,
to
Anthony?
lose.
Let's not drag this out any longer. How about in January?
January.
Next month. Me and you. One-on-one. Once and for all. No title.
January?
I don't need that.
And you know,
January?
It's just you.
Brightside.
How
Brightside.
about it?
You took the words out of my mouth. You took the
What?
words straight out of my mouth, Brightside. In January, Mr. Brightside versus Anthony Steele. 1-on-1. And I'm going to tell you this. When I retain that United States Championship, you want to climb the mountain, right? You want to climb the mountain that is Anthony Steele. Well, how about we rewrite something?
Right.
I'll let you climb something else. Cause let me get through Jovi. Let me get through Jovi at Winter Clash. And when I do, I will talk to the board. I will make sure they make it official one way or another. Why don't me and you both climb something? You want the destruction of me.
There we go.
I want the demise of Mr. Brightside. So why don't we do what you're trying to do? You're trying to hang things over my head. So why don't we hang this over both of our heads? And why don't we climb the ladder? And let's see if you can retrieve everything that I've built. The legacy that I will leave in IMF. Why don't you versus me? Let's see how dangerous you can be. How unpredictable the bright side really is. Because I'm going to cast darkness on the brightest day of your life. And just letting you know, final thoughts. The thing that you're doing, a man I know very well did a lot better. And trust me, you're not Ledger. You're a wannabe. And that's what I love to expose. It's fakes, phonies, and pieces of shit. So come January, when that bell rings, I'm going to expose you for the phony and the fake that you are. Because you want to take everything from me. I'm going to take everything from you.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that there's no more talking tonight. Mr. Brightside and Anthony Steele, 2025, it seems like their New Year's resolutions now are to officially be in the ring in the IMF. There's no more videos. There's no more battle royals. There's no more unacknowledging. There's no more of he's a phony. There's no more he's a joke. There's no more he doesn't matter. There's no more he's a PS. There's no more he's just a fake imposter of somebody else. Nope. The time for talking, The time for pot shots, the time for all of that has officially ended. It doesn't even matter what they do coming up here at Reignited Championship Wrestling Winter Clash. These guys are now officially on a crash collision course. Tread very lightly if you're in the IMF locker room right now, because Mr. Brightside, the most unpredictable man right now in wrestling and the most controversial figure in backyard and underground wrestling history. How fitting Mr. Brightside, Anthony Steele, one-on-one, finally comes to an end here. As I stated, the most unpredictable wrestler versus the most controversial wrestler. Who very well will come out on top? You're going to have to find out by going to the IMF's YouTube page, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok for more information. In the meantime, Anthony Steele will be putting up that United States Championship on the line once again against Sean Jovi, 4 up, 4 down. They're both going to be here coming up 2 weeks from tomorrow, and Mr. Brightside's going to be in action not once, but twice. You're going to see him against Il Drago later this week, and the winner of that match will get a shot at the winner of Justin Parsley and Soldier GP for the PWF World Heavyweight Championship, and Mr. Brightside could also be walking around with gold as the IMF Midwestern Champion, that 20-minute Fatal 4-way Iron Man survival match against, well, Remington Striker, Prince Achia, and Isaiah Rage. Could it even be title versus title in January? Could that be? Could it be Mr. Bright 2 belts? Could it be Anthony Double Steel? Who knows? I don't know, but I know, ladies and gentlemen, you have to go to the IMF YouTube pages. Go to Oswald Brightside's page on YouTube. Also, go out there to Anthony Steele on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. Go out there because these two men are definitely burning it up. Final words here. I'm a fan of Brightside and Drago, so I don't know who to root for, but best of luck, boys. Kyle Shelby loves Anthony Steele's belt. Dakota's back. Also here, Justin Parsley wanted to say that too many clowns on one wrestling stream, but that was like 20 minutes ago. Also, Zilla said preached about Anthony Steele. It's Anthony Healed. Steele. I don't know where that came from. Brandon Hardcore Hobbs does seem to like the glasses Anthony Steele was wearing, if that counts for something. Anthony Holloway and Holden Holloway are not brothers. Let's just put it that way. Far from it. Far from it. And I don't even know anybody named Anthony Holloway. The only person I know is Anthony Steele. I know who Holden Holloway is, but it doesn't matter because, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I've seen enough, to quote Dave Wasserman. Anthony Steele is coming once again and has shown why. He ain't backing down from Mr. Brightside. And Mr. Brightside, does he really stand by calling Anthony Steele a joke? Is he really what nobody cares about him? And is he all a phony? No real deal? I don't know. But I just know, boy, I can't wait for more IMF coverage. And yours truly is sponsoring to buy not one but 2 tickets for 2 lucky fans out there that want to see these 2 competitors and everybody else out there. You have that opportunity. IMF Wrestling on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Get your tickets. We're all going to be back here in 14 days from tomorrow, and you'll probably get more IMF coverage in between that. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally, but all wrestling matters. If you're on Sportswire Radio, we are going to be live 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow with 5-Town Sound, women's soccer coach. But one more thing. Management has arrived. Management breaking news. Management is here. I have to get this in. So before we sign off, Anthony Steele and Mr. Brightside, sorry I'm late on this, but since Anthony Steele can't predict the future, but IMF management are done with this. So in January at New Year's Vengeance, this will be, wait a minute, an unsanctioned fight, meaning no championships on the line. If Brightside wins the IMF Midwestern title, or by chance the PWF World Championship, or Anthony Steele retains the United States Championship of the IMF, those championships are not on the line. It's an unsanctioned fight, meaning anything goes. Anything goes between Brightside and Steele. Who knows what could happen? It could be chairs. It could be ladders. It could be tables. It could be thumbtacks. It could be anything. No sinners, no foundation, no funny stuff, no jokes. It's right to the point. Anything goes. Anything can happen. Brightside Steel, unsanctioned. Be there or be square. IMF, New Year's Vengeance. Ladies and gentlemen, it is all gone into chaos. Chaos has descended on Sportswire Radio. Brightside, you got what you wanted. You got chaos. Steel, you got what you wanted. You got Brightside. The only thing left we can do is go back to Sportswire Radio each and every night for your news and updates on all things related to the IMF and Mr. Brightside and Anthony Steele. And stay tuned real soon, ladies and gentlemen. But until then, thank you so much. If you haven't yet, go hit the sub button for Sportswire Radio. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Oh, the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters. And boy, long live the IMF, Brightside vs. Steel, New Year's Vengeance. Stay tuned. It's about to get real. It's about to get real. Unpredictable. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in.